Alright, so I figured I would do one more video, one more crime update video before the very important election that we are facing tomorrow because the media is too focused on Darling, Selden, and Hochul. They're too busy focusing on both, but they're not going to be focusing on the major crime of the day today. So let's get into a couple of things, and I'm going to make my mic louder as we go along because we're experiencing some technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. Making a little bit louder so you can hear me. So, whoa, that's way too loud. So, we're going to talk about a couple incidents happening in the transit system that the media is going to ignore since, again, as a member of Passengers United, I feel like I'm obligated to cover it. So, we're going to get into that. But before we get into that, I want to mention that I was almost a victim of assault in transit today. And you may be wondering, what happened? Well, I'll explain what happened today. So, I'm waiting for the Q12 bus to take me back to Osnum Hall. So, I'm literally in this area right here, Northern Boulevard, right over between 218th Street and 219th Street. So, what happens is, let's see if we can get a view of the gas station. So, what happens is, let's see, can we pull up the 7-Eleven? I think we might be able to. So, here's the 7-Eleven. Let's just pull an analogy up, alright? So, this is the 7-Eleven I was at, okay? Right here. It's like two people filling up gas. So, I'm coming out of the 7-Eleven. I just checked the transit app. And the transit app says the bus is coming in 3 minutes. So, I'm like, okay, better hurry up and get to the bus stop. So, as I'm walking over to the bus stop, like, I'm standing right in front of the 7-Eleven, right? So, I'm trying to walk to the bus stop, right? And this thug-looking piece of crap comes out of nowhere. He literally comes out of nowhere. Because remember, this area of Northern Boulevard is a hill. You go down this way, and it goes right to Alley Pond Park where the hiking trails are. So, this thug-looking piece of crap comes over this direction, okay? He's mumbling to himself. He's swagger walking, right? And, you know, he's like, you! And I literally ran right in the store. It's bad enough that there was a UPS truck, okay? UPS truck blocking this bus stop. Thankfully, the UPS truck cleared out in time. Because the UPS guy was in the store, okay? So literally, I almost got assaulted today. This guy was going to beat me up. So this is what we have to deal with. And again, we have a very, very important election tomorrow. And that's why today's thumbnail, you're seeing Pat Kiernan saying the quote, "Let's send Andy's randomness to Delaware." Because we're on the verge. We're on the verge of me leaving. Okay? I am now scared that I'm going to have to get my medical care in New Jersey, right over the border on the Commodore Barry Bridge next year, because my Medicaid is not accepted in Delaware. Pine Power LI was helping me out with doctors and stuff like that since we're both disabled. So I find out I gotta go over the border. Sure, some stuff is covered, but not everything's covered, unlike New Jersey. So if I need to see the doctor or the dentist, guess what? Sorry, you're going to have to hop over the border and go to New Jersey. Yep, so I'm going to have to go to Mount Laurel or Cherry Hill or, you know, Morristown, that area, just to get care where my Medicaid's going to be accepted. Right? It's not for us disabled people who have to deal with this nonsense. Not. But we've reached our tipping point. And this is why we gotta hope that Lee Zeldin wins. Because, you know, this is what we're going to get into. Alright? So a lot of stuff's been going on in transit. We had at least three notable incidents. Three. One in the Bronx, one in Brooklyn, and one in Queens we're going to get into. Right? So we're going to read from the New York Post, who I suggest you should consider reading because they are being very fair to Lee Zeldin. And they're telling the truth about Lee Zeldin. Unlike the New York Daily News, who are favoring Kathy Hochul. I'm sorry, I can never read. I get the virtual edition, I'm not going to say how. But if I'm picking up a newspaper, I'm reading the Post. I can't read the Daily News anymore. So, let's read this. So this happened in the Bronx. Right? Now, keep in mind, Channel 1 did not cover this. But they did cover something interesting we're going to get into at the end of the video, which was very disturbing from what I saw. Okay? So here we go. A man was stabbed in the neck on a New York City subway platform Sunday morning after getting into an argument with another strap hanger. So this happened, yesterday morning. The 44-year-old victim was standing on the number 6 train at the Morrison Avenue Soundview station in the Bronx at around 7:15 a.m. 6 train platform, okay? So this happened on Sunday, November 6th. A man half his age jabbed a sharp object into his neck, according to the police. He was rushed to NYC Health Jacoby Hospital in stable condition. The alleged attacker was identified later on as 24-year-old Gerald Johnson, who fled from the station, but was later arrested on assault and harassment charges, according to the NYPD. So, we don't know what led up to the argument. So, this guy has a prior rap sheet, 14 times, has been arrested. So, and look at this. The suspect is also accused of stabbing a man in the neck with a kitchen knife following a clash over money. So, telling you, this is bail reform at work. This is bail reform at work. The cycle just continues. And if you have the guts and the nerve to vote for Kathy Hochul tomorrow, or you already voted, then, I don't know if I can look at you the same way. I mean, you think it's honestly okay that we're letting the same criminals out of prison over and over and over again? You think it's okay that we're going to let these EDPs who are off their meds in my situation today, okay? Out of my situation today, we're going to let them back out in the streets? I mean, some people just have to reevaluate their lives. And I'm going to mention 2 visitors at Osnum today. I told them, if you don't want to wear the mask in Osnum anymore, you got to vote for Zeldin. Because I heard from Pete King, the chairman of Nassau GOP, come January, if we get Lee Zeldin, I'm going to be allowed to not wear my mask on duty. Which, we're getting sick and tired of it already. Our residents can't hear us. Right? So, it's just getting crazy. I know I'm rambling, but, after today, this is what's going on here. This is what's officially going on here. So, next incident, and I can't find any news articles about this, but there's a report going around that an MTA subway conductor was assaulted today in Brooklyn. So, according to at NYCT Subway, a conductor was in need of medical assistance. From what I heard, I'm not going to say where I heard this from, this was a possible assault in transit involving a conductor at Pennsylvania Avenue. So, very alarming that a subway conductor assaulted today. So, let's see. I'm trying to find the other article. Let me see if I can find it, because I'm just organizing my tabs here. So, next thing I want to get into is this, okay? this is the last thing we're going to get into, because we actually have an important update that I need to read from Melinda Katz regarding a incident that happened over the spring that got notable news coverage. So here we go. Last subway incident we're going to read. So this is why, again, I'm trying to avoid the subway as much as possible. So here we go. A man was assaulted and robbed on board a Manhattan-bound 7 train in Jackson Heights. So here we go. Police say a 34-year-old victim entered a Manhattan-bound 7 train at the Main Street station in downtown Flushing at about 4:30 p.m. back on Sunday, November 6th, when he was approached by a group of unidentified men who began to harass him. The young man punched him, fired a gel-shot intimidation pistol towards him, and tried to rip up his gold chain, but they were unsuccessful. So again, this is what Charlton always says. You can't display expensive items in the train. This is what's going to make you a target of becoming a victim of a crime. Alright? This is what Charlton was talking about at Union Square during a press conference. Alright? You want proof he said that? I'll find the video somewhere. But he literally had a press conference at Union Square saying that. This is what makes you the victim of a crime. Or prone to it. Okay? Okay, here we go. So, the rider was able to avoid the hooligans and move to another car as the train continued to travel across the Flushing IRT. The victim then exited the train at the 74th Street and Roosevelt Avenue transit station in Jackson Heights. While he was on the platform, the same group of men came after him and forcibly removed his eyeglasses and smacked him across the face. They ran off with his glasses and were last seen boarding an F train 3 levels down. The victim did not sustain any injuries and refused medical attention. So, we do have pictures, which is good. The cameras might help catch these guys. So, it says here that some of these suspects are in their late teens or early 20s. One suspect wore all black clothing with a black face mask. Another wore a dark vest over a black sweatshirt and white sweatpants. And a third suspect had bushy dark hair and was wearing a black jacket and white and black sweatpants. The fourth man wore a black jacket. So, here's 2 of the pictures. So, yep, this is what Kathy Hochul is allowing. This is bail reform at work. This is what she wants. And you know what you got to do tomorrow if you haven't voted. You know what you have to do tomorrow if you want me and Pine Power LY to stay in New York. You know what you have to do. Alright? Okay, so now we're going to read a press release from Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz regarding the awful, gruesome manslaughter that happened in Kew Gardens back in the spring. Okay, so it was announced last Wednesday. The Queens DA Melinda Katz announced that Mr. David Manoa pleaded guilty to manslaughter for the brutal slaying of Ursula Gao, whose dismembered body was discovered in a duffel bag near Forest Park. Yep. And that's where I'm supposed to be doing my hike tomorrow. So this is what the DA said in a quote. The heinous killing devastated an entire family, left 2 boys without a mother, and horrified the surrounding community. And not just the community, but the whole borough of Queens. I want to thank my prosecutors for their exhaustive efforts in securing this plea. In pleading guilty, the defendant has accepted responsibility and is being held fully accountable for his criminal actions. We express our sincerest condolences to the victim's family and hope that today's plea will allow them to begin to heal. So, you know, if this happened near Central Park, you know Alvin Bragg would not go after this, right? You clearly know Alvin Bragg would not be getting involved in this, right? And that's another reason why you have to vote for Sullivan. Because Manhattan needs a DA like Melinda Katz, right? And we gotta hope that they'll hold a new election next year. Right? Because this is why you need Melinda Katz. Alright? I was wrong about her. I think she's still doing a good job. Benoit, age 44, of 114th Street in Richmond Hill, Queens, pled guilty to 1 count of manslaughter in the first degree before Queens Supreme Court Justice Michael Alois in Kew Gardens, who said he would sentence the defendant to 25 years in prison to be followed by 5 years post-release supervision. Mr. Bonilla will be sentenced on Wednesday, November 16th. So, we know what happened back in the spring. We know that the bag was found near Forest Park, near one of the hiking trails, which again, you know, I'm kind of going to get goosebumps tomorrow, but, you know, I have to get over it. You know, you are not keeping me out of the woods. No. So again, thank you, Melinda Katz. But the only thing that I am upset with her at the moment, we've yet to hear about the man from Cambria Heights who was arrested for the shooting of the teenager in Fresh Meadows back in April. There's still nothing about it. Remember, that girl's paralyzed for life. Okay. So I guess we're going to go to the next story. And we do have a couple we're going to read from Queens. And I just want to mention, before we get to the other news, that I did watch Pine Power LI's video while I was on lunch break today. And let me just say, I'm deeply disturbed with all the crime happening in Long Island. And it's just heartbreaking to see what's going on with my neighbors in Nassau dealing with a very bad stretch of crime that some aren't even aware of what's going on because the media is censoring everything. It's just so sad. Oh no, please tell me Eric Adams was not in Whitestone. Let me read this. So, Harvey Park in Whitestone. Yeah, but what about the illegal trucks that are parked in my neighborhood on Horace Harding? Huh? Nothing's being done about them. Where's Linda Lee? That's her district. Anyhow, let me read this. Look at this. So, they want to get rid of all these illegally parked vehicles. You know, it's disgusting what's going on. I do agree that we need to get rid of them, but, you know, we also have other illegally parked trucks on Union Turnpike where that bridge is where the Grand Central Parkway is. Alright, let's take a look at Harvey Park, because I know where this is. Pull up Harvey Park. Alright, here we go. Harvey Park. This is Harvey Park, okay? Yep. And this is a nice little park. But, you know, the unfortunate thing is you're in a very busy commercial area where you have the shopping center right here. Okay? I'm glad Vicky Palladino's trying to do something about it, but, you know, I'm really ashamed of Linda Lee. You know, I really am ashamed of her. You know, I'm glad she was condoning the anti-Semitism when she first took office in the winter, but she's been silent for months. Nothing about the park trucks, okay? So, I'll just quickly go into it. Alright. So around Grand Central, let's do a street view. Go under here. Yeah, look at all these illegally parked trucks. Yes, this was from the summer. I remember all these trucks parked here. My God, Linda Lee. Where are you? You know, you represent this district. You need to do something about these trucks. Right, and then let's go to Horace Harding. As I saw a couple of them today when I was coming home from Osnum. Alright, so Linda Lee, you know, Linda Lee doesn't care. She just doesn't. But hang on, I think they're by the Jewish Center. Okay, that's a coach bus. They have every right to park there, but so odd. I thought I saw something from. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit wrong here, but we've had trucks illegally park on Horace Harding. Alright? So Linda Lee again is missing in action. And this is why, again, folks, you can't, if you're in the 19th district, you cannot take Vicky Palladino for granted. You know the Cup song? You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. It's bad enough that we have the school gubernatorial election. I mean, we're all drained out. All seats of the city council are up for grabs next year because of this stupid redistricting. Okay. And then Melinda Katz was focused on this 1976 homicide, a World War I veteran. Wow. Well, I don't want to get into that. That's something I don't really want to get into, but yeah, in 1010 Wins covered this one. A gunman in a pickup truck in a wild chase. Okay. Look at this. Mailroom getting robbed. You know, I mean, look at all the crime going on. And look. Crime in October up 5.9%. You tell me why we need Kathy Hochul. Oh my God, a suspicious death. I want to read that one first. Okay, so they do have an update on the carjacking and mass theft, so we'll get into that. Just want to see if I can pull up the other article. So a Staten Islander got assaulted by a man from Jamaica. Okay, let me see how I'm going to organize this. Okay, here we go. So, a woman found dead, and a husband's being questioned for suspicion of it. Here we go. So this happened in Rosedale. So, this is what we know. The husband, who was 77, appears to suffer from dementia. And according to NYPD, there is no prior domestic violence history. So here we go. 70-year-old Giselle Davangiri was found inside the first floor home of her residence on 148th Road in Rosedale while making a wellness check at 6:17 a.m. on Wednesday, November 2nd. Sources familiar with the case said the couple's son had contacted 911 and requested the check. Upon arriving at the scene, authorities said the cops found Davangiri unconscious near the doorway and her husband nearby. According to the 105th Precinct, Davangiri suffered trauma about her head and body from an apparent assault. EMS pronounced her dead at the scene. Davangiri's body was transported to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. The 105th Precinct have subsequently opened a homicide investigation. Charges against the husband are pending the result of the outcoming investigation. So, of course, they're going to question the husband, but wow, I mean, nobody even covered this. I mean, isn't that suspicious that they find a dead body in a home? I find that suspicious. Okay, here we go. So this is the last one we're going to read from AM New York. So 1010 Wins did cover this. So here we go. So this literally felt like a blockbuster. Oh, and no surprise, this happened in Vicky Palladino's district. So here we go. Police said the trouble began at about 10:35 p.m. on November 2nd as a 25-year-old male victim drove his Audi Q5 northbound along College Point Boulevard near the 22nd Avenue. Yep, this is definitely the 19th. As he approached the intersection, law enforcement sources said a dark-colored SUV drove straight toward him. That caused the victim to swerve to avoid getting hit, but in the process he collided with a white Ford F-50 pickup truck, which pinned the victim between both vehicles. Authorities said an unidentified man then got out of the dark-colored SUV, approached the victim, and pointed a gun at him. The victim managed to pull his vehicle away and headed northbound on College Point Boulevard. But seconds later, cops reported the pickup truck rear-ended the victim's vehicle, causing him to crash into a nearby parked car. Police said the victim got out of the car and began fleeing on foot along College Point Boulevard towards 20th Avenue. Yep, I know this area very well, not too far from the shopping center. The suspect in the pickup truck followed and eventually struck him at the intersection. Somehow, the victim managed to get back up and continued running northbound along College Point Boulevard. The unidentified man with a gun gave chase. Authorities said the armed perpetrator fired a shot at the victim but missed. Police said the victim sought refuge at a nearby bodega at a corner of 18th Avenue and College Point Boulevard and asked the bodega owner to call 911. The suspects who chased the victim were long gone by the time officers from the 109th responded to the incident. Police said the victim sustained minor injuries to his right knee but refused medical attention. Police described the gunman in the caper as a man with a light complexion and a medium build with black hair who was last seen wearing a black jacket with a wide white label, a black shirt with white lettering on the front, black pants, and black sneakers. Wow, this literally sounds like this is from a movie. Wow, I am just beyond shocked. I don't even know what to say about this. So we do have a video of it. Wow, I mean, I'm telling you, College Point's really had some problems over the past couple of years, and I used to work in this area. So we'll pull it up on Google Maps in just a bit. Look at that, there's the gun. There's the gun. Unbelievable. And Kathy Hochul claims we're getting the guns off the street. Yeah, right. Liar, liar, Kathy Hochul. Liar, liar. That's what you are. You are a liar, Kathy Hochul. Okay, so let's go to College Point. I know exactly where this is. So we'll go up the map. This is College Point. Right. So here we go. Looking for College Point Boulevard. Here we go. Yep. Right around here. Yep. This is where it happened. Right around here. Right around here. And this is probably the bodega where the guy went into. Right? Now, the reason why that I'm very familiar with this area, okay? I'm going to show you on Google Maps. 18th Avenue, okay? I know this area very, very well. Pull up an old street view, okay? Pull it up right here. 2016, 2013. There's a street view from 2012. Here we go. Right here. This is very odd. Where is it? This is very, very odd. Yes, here we go. This is where I used to work. I used to work at the store in high school twice a week. Twice a week handling the takeout bags for the customers. And giving them the takeout orders. I used to literally work a block away from this area. Right? So trust me, this hits way too close to home for me. And I'm glad 1010 Wins covered it, but, you know, Channel 1, MIA as usual. Right? Okay, so I have 3 more we're going to read. So here we go. Armed men are sought in a carjacking and mass theft. So this happened on Monday. So here we go. It happened just this morning. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Metropolitan and Elliott. Right by the Q38. So here we go. So a man was approached by 2 unidentified men in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven at Metropolitan and Elliott Avenue just after 6:30 a.m. and displayed handguns, according to an NYPD spokesperson. The suspects then jumped into the white man's Nissan Rogue and drove off eastbound on Metropolitan Avenue just before crashing a block away. So the motorist was not injured. So, wow. I mean, I'm telling you, you gotta watch your back out there. Especially because, again, this is, my goodness, this happened the day before the election. Well, there was another incident that happened in Maspeth. Hang on. Yeah, pharmacy got robbed. Yeah, here we go. Another incident in Maspeth. Another incident in Maspeth. We're not done just yet. I thought there was less to read, but we have more to read. Believe me, we have more to read. So here we go. So, okay, let me click onto this one. So it's 3 more articles. So here we go. So we have a grand larceny that took place at 66-51 Grand Avenue. Alright? So this happened 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, November 26th. And funny enough, this happened right during my lunch break at Osnum. Wait a minute, hang on. I think this happened when I was at La Mescala. Right when I was getting my lunch. Unbelievable. So as I'm getting my lunch, this is what's going on. Unbelievable. 6:50 a.m., a 62-year-old male exited his parked car. 2 unidentified men followed him. One acted as a lookout while the other stole $21,000 in electronics from the vehicle. They fled westbound on Grand Avenue in a 2014 white Volkswagen. Wow. So again, this is why you gotta be careful with your valuables. If you're not, I'm telling you, the criminals are so desperate. I'm just trying to pull up the address. 66-51 Grand Avenue. Let's look it up. I think I know where this is. Yep! I know exactly where this is. Right by the Q58 where it goes to Ridgewood. Yep. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Telling you, Maspeth's next too. Maspeth is next too, so this looks like a bodega. Oh no, this is a safety supply store. Wow, can't believe it happened here. But again, this is Kathy Hochul's New York, so this is what she wants. And she's ruining my queens as we go along here. She's ruining my queens as we're going along here. Alright, so 2 more we're going to read. Hang on, I'm just making sure that I got... I wanted to read this one. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm off track. I'm just so disgusted what's going on. Look at this. So, Jamaican man arrested for a fatal assault of a Staten Island man near Major Mark Park in Staten Island. So, this happened back in June. Wow. That is so unfortunate, you know. I don't even want to read that. I have no patience for it. Okay. So we're going to read 2 more. Like I said, we're going to read 2 more. And then we're going to watch the video from Channel 1. Which, I'm disturbed with all the anti-Semitism that's been going on. You know. So, Regal Park Pharmacy. Robbed. Here we go. This happened on Monday, October 24th. So it says here, this happened at Top Choice Pharmacy, 2:45 p.m. See, why is it that most of these crimes are happening when I'm leaving work or when I'm on lunch break? Very odd, huh? 2:45 p.m. on October 24th, 2 identified men entered Top Choice Pharmacy at 97-06 Queens Boulevard. Oh, so this happened in Forest Hills. So they went behind the counter while holding the 60-year-old male employee by the neck and brandishing him with pepper spray. The men then took off with a bottle of promethazine and fled on 64th Road to Saunders Road. Oh, so this happened in Regal Park. Okay, so this is not too far from Forest Hills. So this is according to the 110 precinct. They're describing one suspect as 18 to 20 years old with a light complexion, last seen wearing a black hooded gray sweatshirt and black sneakers. Second suspect is believed to be 18 to 20 years old with a medium complexion. He was last seen wearing all black clothing. And funny enough, MSNBC over the weekend called Hochul out. You need to see this video. I'm going to card it right now. Look how the reporter from MSNBC brashed Hochul over the weekend. You know, they're literally locking up all the merchandise in the pharmacies. And sticking into Regal Park, a mailroom robbed. Which post office did this happen at? Oh, so this happened in an apartment building. Wow. So this happened on October 26th. So this happened near 67th Road and Booth Street in Regal Park. So a suspect used an unknown object to pick a lock out of the outer door. The suspect approached the mailroom located off the lobby. He picked a lock in the mailbox that holds larger packages from multiple residents. Oh, and then look at this. A package belonging to a 39-year-old resident of the building exited the location in an unknown direction. We don't even know what the package contained. Obviously no injuries. So here we go. We do have a description of the suspect. A beard and a man bun. Man bun, jeez. White t-shirt, gray winter jacket, fur-lined hood, black pants, and black sneakers. So here we go. Yep, I mean, you gotta be careful of your mail, folks. I mean, the criminals are getting desperate. They're getting really desperate. And look, there he goes with the package. Okay, so last one we're going to read. Oh, excuse me. Last video we're going to play today. Put this on mute for a second. So I want you to watch this. So Channel 1 this morning. This was actually one of their lead stories this morning. I'm not kidding. This was actually the lead story this morning with Pat Kiernan. I'm surprised they even covered this. So if you didn't hear what happened, the Bronx, City Island. Restaurants received racist, anti-Semitic, and black propaganda. It's truly disgusting. You need to see this for yourself. So, let me move this so you at least can see the video.
I'm still going through the camera, trying to see who might have put that in there.
Daryl Lely, the owner of Seafood Kings on City Island, says he's been trying to track down the person responsible for placing this unsettling cartoon depicting racial stereotypes in his mailbox last week.
You get mad about it, but that's only creating more fire and desire in me to press on to be successful.
His family-owned restaurant opened back in February, offering a taste of seafood with soul food trimmings. Located near the entrance of City Island Bridge, is one of dozens of restaurants along this strip offering seafood, but one of just a handful of black-owned restaurants. At least 3 businesses here, including Archie's Tap and Table and Caliente Seafood, another black-owned business, were allegedly targeted.
I know that Artie's, that's down the road from us, he also received the same letter. And Artie, I believe, is Jewish, and so I know how he feels. He's offended by that, and he's been here a long time.
Staff at Archie's and Caliente did not want to appear on camera, but according to the NYPD, they received a complaint report from Archie's in late October. No arrests have been made, and the investigation is still ongoing. The Hate Crimes Task Force has also been notified. The owner here says all of this is not surprising to him at all.
I have customers who come, 90 years old, 80s, and, they tell about how this island used to be when they were growing up, and you couldn't stay on this island past 6 o'clock, or you would be confronted with some kind of racial tension or something.
Portia Sadiq, a regular here, says she's been coming to City Island almost half her life and considers this new black-owned business a treasure that should be protected.
It's 2022, and people have to get over that. Coming here, this is like family. The food is delicious, all right? The service is great.
And that's exactly what Lely wants to focus on, good food and quality for his customers.
Life is too short to waste time on trying to instill fear in somebody through letters and papers. We're here. We're not going nowhere. We're going to stay here.
And the restaurant owner says he still plans on filing an official complaint with police. He also says they're planning a rally to be held with elected officials later this week where they will speak out against hate. On City Island, Edric Robinson, New York 1.
Wow, so they spent 3 minutes covering this. Kudos to Spectrum, at least. At least they did something right. And, with these black-owned businesses, we have to support them now more than ever. And the black-owned businesses, the Jewish-owned businesses, the Spanish-owned businesses, the Asian-owned businesses, we have to support them more now than ever. And, this is why, again, I'm moving to possibly, I'm not saying it could happen if Selden wins. I want to stay here. But if Hochul wins tomorrow, I'm going to be moving to an area of the country that is open. I get to explore different food. And, this is just really shameful. And, I particularly blame Kanye West for this. All the anti-Semitic attacks he's been making against the Jewish community, saying, oh, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on people, or, Jews have the most amount of money in the world. It's like, I'm Jewish and I'm offended by this. And Hanukkah is later this year. But that's not the point here, okay? So, folks, please, I want to see our first Jewish governor of New York tomorrow. Please. Make me so happy if we can get Lee Zeldin tomorrow. And, let's see. Is Spectrum giving the free pass tomorrow? Because they need to. Alright? Because a lot of people who have Fios want to watch the state feed of Spectrum tomorrow. Alright? Okay, here we go. For Spectrum non-subscribers, yes, okay. So they will give the open access link tomorrow, which again, that's the right move by Spectrum. They should be doing that tomorrow. But again, you gotta vote for the person on the left. Alright, that guy right there, you gotta vote for him. You want to stay in New York. You want to feel safe. You want your money to matter, and vote for him. But if you want New York to become an anarchist state filled with criminals, filled with everything bad like California is right now, you gotta vote for Zeldin. You gotta vote for Hochul. Right? I mean, sure, your right to an abortion will be protected no matter what happens. But this is all fear-mongering by the Democrats right now. Don't let them fool you. So I want to give a quick reminder, if you have not voted, polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow. You have plenty of time to vote. And remember, if you're still in line at 9 o'clock, they cannot deny you entry. You have to be let in to vote. Right? And I'm probably going to be voting maybe around 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow. So that's going to be it. And this is going to be my last crime video before the election. So I really am nervous about how things are going to end up. And I really hope that tomorrow we will make history and we will have our first Jewish governor of New York with Lee Zeldin. Because we need somebody advocating for us in the Jewish community more now than ever. I'm glad Zeldin's been rallying with them lately. And, you know, I'm sick and tired of hearing all this anti-Semitic rhetoric. It has to stop. And trust me, if Zeldin wins, Kanye West will have his mouth shut for him. Okay? And Kanye West will dare never step foot in New York again if we get Lee Zeldin in. Alright? So that's it. Remember to vote tomorrow. And let's see what happens, because things may be bad on Wednesday, or they might be good. We'll see. So that's it.